What's going on, everybody? It's that time of year. We're all very excited. A brand new season of RuPaul's Drag Race. My name is Rich Rocket, the brilliant young thing, and we're going to review it. So let's get to it. Starting off with our quick cap.
It was so quick, the way that it happened, quick.
All right, so quick cap is where I'm going to try to break down the entire episode in 10 minutes or less. So this episode started, well, first of all, this should have been called Ads Featuring RuPaul's Drag Race, loaded with commercials. Way too much.
The level of unprofessionalism, far too much.
So the episode starts off with the announcement that there's going to be a lip sync showdown. New girl versus new girl. Who's going to win? So, lineup goes as follows. First entering is Candy Muse from New York City. She's versus the one and only Joey J, who kind of came in the room leaving her mark, if you will, because there were feathers everywhere. She was molting. They hit the stage, introduce themselves to the judges, and the showdown begins. The two face off to the song Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen. And I have to say, this was a very evenly matched lip sync. Even though they have very unique individual styles, they found a way to still give us a face off that we needed. And in my opinion, Candy Muse ate the lip sync. Next up, we have Denali Fox versus LaLa Ree from Atlanta, Georgia. The entrance look said a lot. Denali entered wearing ice skates, a drag race first. LaLa Ree entered wearing a mask and a blazer. Doesn't really let us know too much about her or her vision of personal style, but she was charismatic. She gave us this line about the Olive Garden pasta with the Popeye's chicken tenders on top for the razzle dazzle. I personally lived for that. And then the queens hit the stage. They faced off to When I Grew Up by the Pussycat Dolls, and this was definitely a matchup to watch. Denali in the ice skates, again, a drag race first, but I think it limited her range as far as performance, so we didn't really get to see the best of what I think Denali could offer. And also, her dress kind of was coming down, so she was kind of fussing with it a little bit. So the whole performance, she was more trying to keep herself together versus showing the judges who she was. I think LaLa was consistent in her energy, even though it wasn't what I would say stellar. It was still a great performance. LaLa takes the victory. Next to enter the workroom, Symone versus Tamisha Iman Hall, mother of the Iman dynasty. I will say the entrance looks both were very distinct. Symone's very much showed us who she was, literally wore a dress with pictures of herself all over it. And Tamisha showed us where she comes from as far as drag is related. I think that they were both very distinct looks, both very polished in their own way. Neither really gave me like razzle dazzle, but both were equally exciting. So the queens hit the stage to face off to Janet Jackson's Pleasure Principle. And this was the matchup I think I was the most excited about because it seemed even. I think that both gave great performances. Tamisha kind of stayed within the rhythm of Janet choreography, which I think was her detriment because in this situation where they want to see who you are right off the break, it's more important to show your personality versus your knowledge of Janet Jackson choreography. So I think that's where Tamisha may have let herself down in the battle, and Symone takes the win. Next to enter the workroom, got Mick and Utica Queen. These two, at first I wasn't really sure. I was like, I don't know if this is really, like, what, as far as the matchups are concerned, if we're going in the right direction. But once they both started to perform, I was like, okay. So the queens hit the stage and face off to Rumors by Lindsay Lohan. And I'll say this. I don't think Lindsay Lohan could have did it Do with that what you will. In the battle, I personally was rooting for Utica Queen. I just found her really endearing, and I liked her style, and I loved her entrance interview, the way she was talking to the judges. It seemed really fun and personable. But unfortunately, Mick took the win and sent Utica to the PORKCHOP loading dock. Next to enter the workroom was New York famed Rose and newcomer Olivia Lux, also from New York City. The two have a little back and forth because Olivia was, the last time they saw each other, Olivia was competing in a pageant that Rose was hosting. So it kind of was, you know, a full circle moment for the two queens to come together and be competing against each other. Once the queens hit the stage, they are asked to perform a lip sync battle to X's and O's by L. King. The song seemed like a perfect tempo song for both of the performers, and I think the nerves may have gotten the best of them in the beginning because it was, again, thrown at them. They had really no time to prepare, but it was hard to choose who I thought was really the victor. I think personally I would have given that win to Rose, but I think some of these choices were clearly like a character development arc moment, kind of helping to build the storylines for Drag Race for this season. So the victory goes to Olivia Lux. Next to enter the workroom was Tina Burner, apparently a New York City legend in the drag scene, has applied for almost every season of Drag Race and has finally made her way into the workroom. She was followed by Kimora Hall from Chicago. Kimora Hall, not Kimora Hall, get it right. She enters the workroom and she's kind of more sassy than what may have been needed for the moment, but we're not here to tell anyone who to be or how to be. We're just here to enjoy the show. So, after Kimora, in her original Bob Mackie gown, is Elliot with 2 T's from Las Vegas. And I'll have to say, she was clearly nervous. It was not enough punch to push through her entrance line, and I feel like it just needed a little more to take us to a point to get to know her in the way that she wanted us to get to know her. But it did lack some juice. So, the 3 queens hit the stage. Now, I'm going to say I'm not a huge fan of 3-way lip syncs. I feel like it's chaos, pure chaos. But this one actually worked. I don't know if it was the 3 very distinct styles of lip syncing that made it enjoyable to watch or the editing. But either way, I was able to get through this and manage. So, we have Tina Burner, who was sassy but sultry, very direct, clear and distinct in the movements. Kimora, who was very firm in what she was presenting, not very acrobatic, but she did show us that she can move. And Elliot, who was just eating up the whole stage, leg lifts, splits, rolling around, giving you that kind of I'm a dancer performance. So they were all very distinct, but some kind of way it worked, and I enjoyed the performance. The victory was given to New York, and Tina Burner is sent to the winner's circle, sending Kimora and Elliot with 2 T's to the PORKCHOP loading dock. While all the girls that have lost their lip sync sit together, they are given the unfortunate task of earning their way into the competition by voting one of the girls in their group out. I don't know how I feel about this twist, guys. It really seems to not sit right with me. First of all, to send them all to the PORKCHOP loading dock felt like, what a way to start the competition. Even though they do get a chance to compete still, it's look at where you're starting from. So it kind of like moves the starting line further back for them, where the girls who were the victors get a head start. I just hope that this doesn't play into how they compete throughout the rest of the season. And I'm very interested to see how it turns out. Ugh. Now it's time to get into the look.
How do I look?
First up, we're going to talk about Candy Muse. This look, very New York, very denim, very slutty. It's from Brooklyn. All her words, not mine. I did enjoy this look, however. I think it looked great on her body. I think her makeup looked great. Head to toe, this just was a great entrance look. It wasn't It didn't do too much, it did just enough. It was a balance of like here and there, and I think she hit the nail on the head. So I'm going to give Candy Muse a 10. Next up was Joey J. I think this look was fun. Seeing it in photos versus how it appeared on the episode, I definitely liked it more photographed than I did seeing it move, and it was coming undone the entire episode. I think for the sake of first episode, I'm going to give Joey J's look a 6. Next up, we have Denali Fox from Chicago. I think this look told us a lot of what we needed to know about her. She's an ice skater. She's likes clean looks. It was clean. The feathers, everything looked good. It just wasn't very exciting. So I'm going to give Denali Fox a 6 also. Next up is LaLa Ri, and this look missed me. I just think it didn't tell us enough about her as far as her style, aesthetic. It doesn't really say anything other than she likes to dance. So, and also she's missing her pants. So I think that I'm going to give LaLa Ri a 5. But I'm hoping that the rest of the season she really brings the looks, because I'm excited to watch her. I'm already liking LaLa Ri a whole lot. Next into the workroom, Symone. And even though there's something very basic about this look in the construction and the way she's wearing it, I just think it works. It's just enough. Like kind of like I was saying about Candy Muse, it doesn't push it, but it's not lacking in any place. Personally, if I were to make any changes to this, I would maybe like worked in some kind of cutout near the hip area to show a little more body, or like added something that kind of jutted off the shoulder or something just to give it a little more oomph, because it is your first time walking into the workroom. It's your first introduction to the fandom. So I would have pushed it just a little bit personally. But all in all, this look is a killer. So I'm going to give it a 9. Next up is Tamisha Iman. I like this look, but I feel like she could have pushed it a little bit more. There were just some elements that I liked, like the shoulder and the structure of the blazer and the clean monochromatic look, but I feel like she could have just pushed it a little bit more. You know, pageantry has a lot of like key elements, like there will be gowns, there will be swimsuits, and the girls find ways to push through and make sure that they stand out, and I feel like this wasn't pushed hard enough. I'm gonna give Tamisha Iman a 7. Got Mick. I like this look a whole lot, but to me, and I don't know if it's just the way she does her makeup, but it seemed like two different ideas. Like the head was one kind of feeling with the very sculpted hair, the geometric makeup, all of it looked amazing. But then the dress kind of was doing its own thing. And to have so many colors in the dress and then a black shoe, for me, kind of takes me out of the fantasy a little bit. So I think that the hair, face, and shoes were one idea, and then the dress was another. All in all, I'm giving Gottmik's entrance look a 7. Utica Queen. Now this was the push that we needed. I feel like this look was everything. It was all the laundry in the bag, thrown into the machine with some bleach and hair dye, and this is what we got. But it works. I love the way the patterns all like mesh together. Your eye is just going up and down, but there is some common threads and like color stories, and the way the patterns align with the work of the body. And I mean, this girl looks like she's standing on stilts. The hair was big and it balanced with all the kind of like structure of the suit. I liked it. Wasn't crazy about the strawberry, but it worked, you know what I mean? And it helped to kind of tell the story of Utica Queen. So I'm gonna give Utica's look an 8. Next up was Rose. This look was cool. It definitely had all the elements of like a drag performance look. There was like the leotard, the little short jacket, big hair. So it all works in elements. I just think that when you do a monochromatic look, like head to toe one color, the pieces need to really like boom, so you can see, especially if you're wearing separates, each thing needs to stand out on its own, and I don't think each individual piece was loud enough. But she looks really cool. I even like the tooth that she blacked out for her entrance. I thought that was funny. So I'm gonna give Rose a 7. Olivia Lux. This look had like really cool elements. The two-tone dress with the ruching, it looked kind of like a velvet curtain, and the little purse, the gloves. I wasn't crazy about the hair. In photographs, the hair looked really cool, but in motion, it just did not really translate with the look for me personally. It's just my opinion. All in all, I think the look definitely gave us what we needed to know about Olivia. So I'm going to give Olivia an 8. Next up, we have Tina Burner from New York City. This look was great. I really liked it. I mean, there were a lot of things going on and a lot to take in, but I think she stuck with a staple that people are familiar with from New York, and that's the firefighters from New York. I think that's like a big cultural thing for the city. And I just like the way she pulled everything together. It all was a lot to take in, but we were taking it in. We were able to digest it. The only thing I probably would have changed is the hair, but I think that's going to be an ongoing thing for Tina Burner, is her hair choices are questionable. But I think that she has a point of view, and I really enjoyed this look. So for Tina Burner, we're going to give her an 8.5. Karra Hall, she looked great. We cannot fault anything about this look. Yes, people online were saying that from the back, she looks like Sweetum from the Muppets.
Hey, I want to go to Hollywood! Hey, wait for me! Come on, guys! Wait, please! I want to go to Hollywood!
I'm not saying that. Y'all are saying that. But I'm not disagreeing with you saying that. So it's being said is what I'm saying. I did enjoy this color on her. She looked clean, she looked polished, she just looked really good. It was a great entrance look, and I mean, it's an original Bob Mackie. So with that being said, Kimura, you get an 8. Elliot with 2 T's. Now, I love 80s fashion. I love any type of throwback moment when it's very clear and present, but this had all the elements. I just don't feel like they worked together to prove the point. I feel like the pant were a little too like business, the bustier with the jacket worked, but then the hair just wasn't there enough. I feel like maybe if she had like a bigger hair, something with like a side part, so it really gave us like that 80s like dancer on bandstand kind of feeling, then we would have been taken there, but I just don't think this did it. For Elliot's entrance look, I'm going to give her a 6. Now it's time for the predictions. I think on this next episode, we're going to see the girls from the PORKCHOP loading dock come together, and I think they're going to make a decision on who should go home. And personally, I think they're going to vote off Joey J. I'm not sure, and I don't want to wish that on her, but that's my prediction for what's going to happen next week. I'm looking forward to seeing the runways, the spring and fall runways that they're going to do. Hopefully that's next episode too. And so far, if I'm going to predict the top 4 right now, today, my top 4 would be Symone, Candy Muse, Tina Burner, and Utica. That's my top 4. That's my vote. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this review. If you did, please, please, please like, share, and subscribe it. Tell your friends about it. I'm always going to try to have it to you as soon as I can. So usually that will be Saturday afternoon. So look out for more reviews. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel. I do a lot of pretty cool stuff, if I can say so myself. Once again, my name is Rich Rocket, the brilliant young thing, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week on my review of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13. Thanks for checking me out, guys. See you real soon.